We're live, pal. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Podfluxxx, episode 57, the late and brief edition. Rick, what's going on, bud?
Not much. It's hot as hell. It's like Satan's butt crack here in Texas right now. So
Yeah. Well, Long Island, same thing. We got some rain tonight, which I've been waiting for because it was hot this week.
yeah.
I was working in a hot building this week, and I was less than thrilled with the drippage. It's drip season. So, Rick, I've got a couple of things. I don't really have much for us to get through tonight, so this should be pretty quick. Before we start with, the nonsense that I'm into, you've got anything you want to bring up?
No, it seems to be a uneventful week, I guess, of wrestling nonsense, but no, nothing really.
It's funny that it's an uneventful week of wrestling nonsense when we're heading into the Clash at the Castle, I believe, is this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel like everything is slow. I didn't watch much this week. It was hot. I was tired. I saw what people were advertising, and I thought it was best to just not even get involved. So I kind of wanted to watch Raw and then talk about Raw, and then I watched Raw, and it might be the worst Raw I've seen in years.
Oh, wow.
Was this week's Raw. To the point where I was at my buddy's house and it was 10:39. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna head out. It was bad. But I wanted to start with the MJF return. Have you seen anything with the MJF return thus far since he's been back on TV for 2 weeks?
Not really. I saw the return, I guess, the clip of it at the pay-per-view, right? And then I haven't seen much of it. So
okay, would you believe me if I told you that his first feud is going to be with Roosh?
I saw a match advertised. Yeah, did he come out and interrupt them or something? Maybe I saw a clip of that.
Yeah, he came out, he interrupted him, and then Rush cut what felt like a 6-minute promo. It could have been 2 minutes, but it was every bit of 10 minutes. And he said, he was basically comparing himself with MJF and wondering where all of his opportunities are, which is odd because he's not on TV.
Right.
So, you can't tell me you're the toughest guy in AEW and the best wrestler in AEW, but you're not there. And then he said, "Where is my moment?" But when he said, "Where is my moment?" and with his accent, it sounded like he said, "Where is my woman?"
Right.
And then MJF was basically like, "Hey, bud, I didn't catch any of that." So it was, yeah. But I don't see where's the upside in an MJF Roosh promo for MJF.
The upside is MJF gets a win in his first match back. That's all. It's gonna be, it's gonna come and go quick. It has no legs to it. So when is this match? Is this match on Dynamite? I think I saw advertised for next week.
On the upcoming Dynamite this week.
This week. Oh, okay. So yeah, so I saw that advertised, and I immediately thought, oh, they're just gonna, use Roosh to get MJF a strong win over a guy who's bigger than him, so it'll look good. He wrestles a rough style, so MJF will overcome that, right, and then beat him. So Does Roosh still have a group of lackeys with him? Didn't he?
You know what? He came out by himself. I think
Yeah.
he might have had like the one suit guy with him.
Yeah.
You know, what is his Jose or whatever?
Yeah.
But I can't really recall. But now it's like they had like a pull apart. It was it's like they're trying to give it legs, but why?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought maybe he would come out with the group. I did see the clip where he came out. I didn't like stick around for the promo because once I saw him with a microphone, I thought, yeah, I don't need to. I'll just keep scrolling. But uh, I don't know. I can only imagine it's to set up. What's the next big deal that they're heading to here?
Forbidden Door.
Oh, okay. So they should have something lined up for MJF if they're going to be in New York. Like, so I can't imagine. Maybe this is just filler to get him to get him out in the ring with somebody.
Right.
They're trying to build up Roosh to be some sort of threat, but yeah, I would imagine that this sets something up for MJF this week coming up. So for Forbidden Door. I'm not sure what, because it's supposed to be. Now, is this Forbidden Door? Do you recall? Is it every match is a promotion versus promotional type match?
I
Or
don't know how they're going to do it
okay,
because there's not really, I think, anything really announced except for
there's the title matches, right?
Swerve,
Like,
the Swerve and Will Ospreay.
and then there's Moxley and Naito,
Right.
and then that's what I mean. Like, isn't it
And then there's
supposed to be?
Okada, Takeshita. Excuse me. There's Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe versus Jack Perry in a three-way ladder match for the vacated TNT title.
Oh,
They've got Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer, is that how you say it?
yeah. Okay.
Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. That ought to burn some barns.
Okay.
Moxley and Naito, and I've got Jeff Cobb versus to be announced.
I think it's Lance Archer actually now.
So okay, so there's 8 matches on this card. This show
17 more to go.
Yeah, he's got to add. He's got enough time. He's got like 3 more TVs to add 11 matches.
Yeah. Well, MJF, like, again, like, how do you do that? Like, okay, so MJF finishes with Roosh, and then what? Like, does Sonata come in to work MJF? Like, or is it MJF gonna further his, march towards getting the title back? Like, does Adam Cole come into play for this MJF thing, or was that just done because he came in and just popped them and they're finished? Or
I hope that was just to put the period on that sentence.
okay, all right. So he got his heat back by just hitting him, right? Like, that was it.
Brainbuster,
right.
Get this piece of shit out of my ring.
Right. We're done there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think that he would be one of the featured guys in this pay-per-view starting now. Did he even speak of Forbidden Door? I didn't hear his promo. So.
Yeah, he did. In one of his promos, he was, he dumped on Swerve, he dumped on Ospreay, and then he said something about Forbidden Door. It wasn't like groundbreaking stuff, but it was like classic MJF.
All right.
Which is a good thing.
I was just curious if he had even mentioned it. So, I mean, that's good, I guess.
All right. And while I got you here and we're talking about some stuff, the Ricochet move, I don't even know if I spelled that right. The Ricochet move, apparently from WWE.
Right.
More than likely to AEW.
Right.
First question for you is, how excited are you at the prospect of watching Will Ospreay and Ricochet dance again?
This is not going to be good. No, yeah, I wasn't excited to watch it the first time, and I'm even less excited now. But my question is, how far in advance did AEW know this was a thing, right? And if they did know it in advance, is that why they're not pulling the Swerve Osprey in London? Because could this be a London match that they try to build for or get to? Because Osprey has a mid-card belt now that doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Right.
So is that what they do there? They do the flips, the doodads, and the bells and whistles, and then they hug and kiss at the end and maybe share the belt because they're BFFs, or because something has to take away from. I can only imagine something has to take away from the opportunity of Osprey being crown champion in London. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because you highlighted him there with Jericho the first time. The ovation was insane. It's only going to be bigger or louder reaction for him this time if he's challenging for the world title, right? So there has to be something more appealing to Tony as far as like booking him not in the world title match in London, right?
Well,
so it'd have to be Osprey and him.
I'm trying to think with the way the calendars work, right? So let's say Ricochet's contract is up right now.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a 90-day or a 60-day?
I don't know, because he just didn't re-sign. Is that right? It's not like they let him go. Because I saw a bunch of buzz about, people that left without signing or didn't sign. So I don't know. I mean,
just let their contracts expire. I guess.
Yeah, isn't
good to go.
I was just gonna say, isn't that a whole different deal? Because when you're let go, you're given a 90-day.
Yeah.
Right. But he didn't let go. It expired, and they wrote him off because they have nothing. He's not coming back, right? So is there anything there? I don't know.
It's funny that you said it. You wonder how long, AEW has known.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody in WWE has known. Like, it's been like 2 or 3 months that, now that I'm thinking about it, that like maybe even longer, that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee make like Prince Puma references.
Mm-hmm.
Like, while Ricochet's in the ring.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he moves like a puma.
Right.
And then McAfee would be like, or like a prince, like just stupid shit.
Yeah.
And the other night, Swerve was doing a promo, and he referred to himself as Killshot.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, if, like, around the time when CM Punk was coming back, when everybody was like, I'm the best in the world, or like, here's a like veiled references at anything.
Well, obviously WWE knew, right? So like, I believe, I mean, I don't know, when I listen to JR's podcast and he talks about how he worked in talent relations, right? So he gets like these updates on guys' contracts, and they start to put things together almost a year out from the contract expiring, right?
Right.
So he says by 6 months, if nothing's done, they start putting a little more gas to it and start really getting some pressure on them. So they've known for months. And my whole thing is like, technically he can't talk to anybody, right? So he just talks through his friends, and he has a lot of them there, right? He's part of that PWG nerd group,
right.
So I mean, chances are they've been talking and setting this up. And in my thought process would be when that may have been part of Ospreay's wanting to sign with AEW, thinking Ricochet told him, "Nah, man, don't come here.
Yeah.
I'm almost done. Let's all meet at AEW and have fun and play like we did in Reseda, and we'll just do it in London." And that's what I'm thinking, because they're all nerds like that, like that's how he's probably like, yeah, I'll just go there, you go get paid, we'll have fun. We don't have to work hard and be told what to do like we have to do here, in WWE, like do this shit right. We'll just go have fun. So
do you think, I mean, I guess it's obvious, but do you think that Ricochet was underutilized in WWE, or do you think he was overrated by wrestling fans and used just right?
Well, for WWE, I think he was used just right. I remember talking to him for a short time after he had signed with WWE when he was in NXT, that Shawn Michaels had told him, you don't have to do everything so technically perfect. You can rough it up. It could be a little ugly. Not everything has to be in a straight line. A big, it doesn't have, not every move has to come off so clean. You want to make it a little rough and edgier, a little rugged looking. So I never saw that change, right? Because I always thought about that, like it's supposed to be a fight, it's supposed to be a struggle. So he's one of those guys that's obviously, he's super athletic and really talented when it comes to doing the moves, right? So he fits more in an AEW style setting where, he can play those games. And right there, it tells you, like, if you're not going to listen to Shawn Michaels to tell you, hey, man, you don't have to do, yeah, like you don't have to do everything so cute. Like, do less, but make it look more like a real fight. And he doesn't want to do it because he never really did it, right? I mean, he had matches with AJ, and that's AJ getting him through the match, right? And then he had the matches with Joe where that was probably the ugliest you could have saw Ricochet, because he had to fight, Joe for every bump, right? Because Joe's not just going to go flying around.
Work for it.
Yeah, so all that stuff was, those two particular matches stand out because I look at AJ and Joe like, 1A, right? Like they're, if you're going to learn something in a WWE ring, I would imagine those guys are the perfect mixture of real fight to pro wrestling match, right? And I didn't see Ricochet like come out of anything and change anything, So I don't know. I don't think he's overhyped, because he's that talented at the moves. I think he was used where he was going to always be. And I think that's his decision in leaving, right? Is he's not going to, let's face it, like the bar is so high in WWE right now. You know what I mean? Like what spot is he going to take?
Right.
He's not going to take an LA Knight spot. You know what I mean? And LA Knight's low on the totem pole of top 5 guys there. Okay.
And he doesn't have the personality to draw money as a main event champion.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like somewhere in there is the best wrestler in the world, which is AJ Styles, and he's not even number 1, right? And then just to think, okay, well, you got Cody right now who holds the belt. You can have a good match with Cody, okay, but Roman still exists. So what happens when he comes back? Everybody goes down a notch. Everybody, whether they like it or not, So I think that he sees AEW as what everybody does, right? A money mark that'll let me do what I want to do. I'm going to get paid well to barely leave my house. And that's what it comes down to for him, Like he's a poor kid from Kentucky somewhere, that nobody ever told him he'd make it. His dream was to be in WWE. I mean, I spoke with him as he was wrapping up with Lucha Underground, and he told me, I just want to go to WWE, man. Like, that's what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we were never super close, right? So I'm not trying to make it out like we're best buds, but like we did talk wrestling talk, and that was his goal. Maybe he went and did it and thought, cool, I checked all these boxes. Now I can go have fun and do what I want to do.
Checked a few boxes.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, but like, he can go and be with his friends now and make a couple $1 million a year. Like, this is unheard of, right? Like, and work 6 nights in a month and make hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I mean,
there are some people that don't work 6 nights a year there.
Right. Exactly. I mean, how long is Edge going to be out? Almost a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, since we're speaking about contracts, we're going to switch. Ricky, how many Samoans is too many Remember when Brock and Cody were doing their program and I said how much Dusty is too much Dusty?
Right.
How many Samoans are too many Samoans?
I don't know.
The rumor going around, and I finally learned how to say it, is that Hikuleo has bailed from New Japan.
Yeah.
And he is WWE bound.
Right.
Okay, and now I'm looking at the aspect of it today, and something else clicked to me, right? You had Roman.
Yeah.
And then his 2 cousins who were brothers, Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah.
And now you've got Solo and his cousins who were brothers, Tama and Tonga, even though one's first name is the other's last name.
Correct.
Which I thought, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring in Hikuleo into this, I've said it twice now properly. Do you think we're oversaturating the WWE product? And I don't want it to sound like this is some type of race. Like, what are you going to do with all these fucking Polynesian Samoan people? But when this bloodline angle is eventually over,
right, exactly,
you're going to have the employ of 8 Samoan dudes.
Yeah.
Where only like 4 of them are really going to get over and stay over.
Right. I would imagine they would like take some time off after the angle and then start popping up on different shows and like spread them out amongst 3 shows, right? Because we're looking at NXT, Raw, and then SmackDown all being on 3 different
nights
next year. Yeah, next year will be different networks and stuff, or streaming. So I would imagine, is this you think this is gearing up for a Survivor Series War Games match?
It's got to. That's the only reason.
There's got to be blood in that, right?
I don't want to say
has to spill.
That's the only
Someone's headbutting somebody.
Yeah.
And there's blood is coming.
Yeah, there's going to be a nose chewed off.
Right, yeah. For sure. First 3 rows are going to be fucking, hurting after that one. No, it'll, yeah, I would imagine it would blow off at some point. I'm only trying to think, Survivor Series, War Games, I guess, New Bloodline, Old Bloodline, or whatever they want to call it. But I can only imagine it's setting up for that. And then after that, I mean, then we go into the Netflix era, right? So I guess you would have to put Tama and Tonga as a team, maybe the Usos at a team, then you put them in different programs, TV shows, programs, but then maybe Hikuleo goes down to NXT. You put Jacob Fatu, keep him on Raw, I would imagine, or a nice ugly heel for Cody to mess with could be a nice transition.
Yeah.
And then Solo and Roman maybe somewhere else. I don't know, like back on Raw, because I feel like Raw would end up being their A show once this Netflix thing comes through, right? I mean, they would start pouring more star power into that.
Your quote unquote ratings wouldn't depend so much on Roman appearances.
Right. Yeah. But I would think because he was on SmackDown for so long, if you're going to change him up, maybe he comes back as a face or whatever, I would keep him away from Cody, right? So I would imagine he would be the strong face on Raw and give him different opponents to look differently, right? So that's what I would do. I mean, that's the only way out of that. That's the first thing when she started laying it out, I thought, man, and then what? Right? Like, where do we go with all these guys? That's the only way I could see utilizing them, getting the most out of them while looking different, right? So
it's can you imagine how the softer part of Gen Z is going to react to WWE taking 8 plus 10 Samoan quote unquote savages and sticking them in a double cage to murder each other?
Yeah. What about a Jacob Fatu versus Gunther?
Bro, but I think you were right on the money there. I think Jacob Fatu is a big nasty heel. That would be perfect for Cody.
That right there is so new and fresh, but perfect, right? Like, I always remember Umaga against Cena at the Rumble, and I imagine that when I think of those two together, because for me that was, I think, 07, I think, Rumble.
Because Cena then he won the Rumble with the broken neck deal in 08.
Yeah, but I remember that Rumble where when Cena won, I remember thinking, okay, he's the guy now. Like, because I was having a hard time investing in John Cena being the guy, right? So I remember after that match, I was like, that was unreal. Like that was like, when you're in the industry, right? You have a hard time just getting pulled into it. That pulled me in, immediately. And I just thought, man, he just made a statement with that performance, and and that was it for me. But yeah, so I mean, I have confidence in WWE in a major way of knowing that they can make this work afterwards. But yeah, a little bit of a break for most of them, I would imagine, and then have them start popping up throughout different shows once we get into next year.
Recently, Jordynne Grace has been appearing on NXT TV, and she was at the whatever their pay-per-view was, the big NXT show from the UFC Apex. Have you seen that building?
I was looking for pictures of it. I didn't see it much.
It looks like it holds about, I don't know, 700 to 1,000 people.
Yeah, well, I read that it was around 700 people. Yeah,
and I thought it was a dope little venue. I watched a couple of matches. I watched the Jordynne Grace match. Interestingly, the NXT Tag Team Champions, I believe, were like, we'll take on anybody in the world. And I think Chris Bay answered for him and Ace Austin, like, oh, we're down or whatever. So do you see maybe this TNA WWE working relationship is going to be more of a TNA NXT working relationship. And I think it's to kind of I want to say, and don't take this the wrong way, but kind of use the AEW model of, let's bring somebody here just a time or two, to work with our guys. It's a fresh, different matchup. It'll feel different, and then not have to have all these people under contract. What do you think?
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, I did not know that Chris Bay and them answered a challenge, but
I mean, it was on Twitter, but
oh, well, either way, I mean, I think it's good for everybody, right? Because I mean, Vince did a little bit of it, right, with ECW, remember, like with Raw and stuff like that. And I don't know if you saw or know, but next weekend, Pro Wrestling Noah is announcing another WWE wrestler is going to be coming to Japan for them as well.
Really?
Yeah, so they have an announcement. I think it's on the 14th, they said. So I guess Triple H is allowing this little he doesn't like Forbidden Door, but he's allowing them to go out and do their international work, I guess, or different.
It's not a Forbidden Door, Paul. It's an outrageous entrance.
Exactly. But I think it's great, right? Like it helps everybody out. I like the TNA NXT thing because I feel like it's the same fan base, right? It's kind of like the Smart Mark fan base. So everyone fits in, right? Like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are heavy in their own stories. So it would be hard to insert them. But what this does is it gets everybody kind of talking more about NXT as they venture off into, was it CW or whatever network they're about to go into. So I think it's good. It's great for TNA, keeps them out there, right? Because they have a hard time. They have good matches, but so does AEW. They just got a bigger budget, and TNA has been having those good matches for years, right? I mean, they've had, but nobody
can find them.
Yeah, no one can find them. And then by the time you do go looking for them, you find something WWE related, and you're off. You're down that rabbit hole. So it's good. It's good for them. It's great for them. I want to see what's next for them.
Well, what's next for us? Did you see the Tony meltdown on Twitter a couple of weeks ago?
No, I didn't. Oh wait, no, I think I did. For the sickos, that one, because he's a sicko.
The sicko. Yeah.
I did. I didn't, dude. I swear to you, I saw a screenshot and I was like, "This ain't real. This ain't real." And then I went to his Twitter and I was like, "Holy shit, this is real."
Could you imagine Ted Turner being like, they're planting rumors of false ratings on it? First of all,
right.
What does the WWE stand to gain?
Right.
By planting fake AEW rumors.
And they don't need to. That's the problem. Right. AEW does it just fine.
None of their shows are on the same night head to head.
No.
Right? They're not fighting for market share.
No.
They're not fighting for revenue. Right? They're not fighting for viewerships. So why does this guy think that, like, listen, if they were counter programming, if they did anything to AEW like they did to the NWA in the 80s,
right?
Like, you would know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not giving away a free show on USA the night of All In.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just so crazy that that's what these people, their minds go to. And then today there was an article, I guess Meltzer said that Nick Khan pays for the Fast Nationals. Thousands of dollars a week to get the ratings early to see what AEW's ratings are.
I find it hard to believe.
Yeah. But I mean, come on, man. This guy just can't. He just can't be professional.
Yeah, it's a bad look all the way around. I mean, I don't know, and I think they'll re-sign with TNT or Turner Broadcasting, but I don't think it's going to be for what they're hoping.
No.
And there's no way Tony Khan's going to tell anybody what it is. Like, if Meltzer gets any juice of anything on what it, he's going to inflate it so it sounds better, right? But I don't know, like, this is not good all the way around. Like, it's just bad. I don't know. The only thing I can imagine anybody wants to go there for is for getting a lot of money for doing very, very little work.
Mm.
Like, in my mind, right, I'm just thinking that Okada and Jay White are stuffing their pockets and are looking to do a couple of big time years in New Japan and then a farewell tour and then call it a day, because they can't let this be their lasting impression on the wrestling business, what they're doing there. So I'm only looking at it like, look, we're just going to get paid for 3 years and we'll see you guys, in a few. So.
Well, before we give our lasting impressions, we got one more thing we're doing, and that's we're going to run down the Clash at the Castle card real quick. All right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be your job to watch this weekend. I'll get around to it. And then we'll turn around in a couple of days and talk about it. But there's not much to talk about. You got Bayley versus Piper Niven for the WWE Women's title. You got Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, singles match for the IC belt.
That'll be good.
Cody versus AJ in an I Quit match. Bianca and Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And then you've got Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. So here we are. 5 matches. I think there was another match announced. There may be 6. Okay? So WWE running 6 match pay-per-views. Where you at on that? Right amount?
I don't know. I'm not mad at them for it. I feel like we could do like 1 or 2 more in there, but then again, they're not selling them like they were, right? So, I mean, I'm okay with it. It gives them a little more time. There are a lot of people on this because of the multi-person tag match or whatever. So what I'm curious about with this pay-per-view was, I'm assuming AJ's not going to win.
Right.
But then it wouldn't be the worst thing if he did. I don't know. Like, I just feel like if Cody's going to lose, it would have to be to somebody like AJ, right? Who else is a threat to Cody is my question.
You prefer Cody chasing, obviously.
I do. That's the thing, is I don't know if they would use AJ as a long-term champion. I could see them giving it to AJ. Does The Rock beat AJ at Royal Rumble, and then we go Cody Rock at WrestleMania?
I can almost guarantee, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the word Styles and the letters AJ have never come out of The Rock's mouth touching each other.
Right. I understand.
Yeah. He'd be like, what now? I don't know. I thought I would prefer a Cody title reign to a Cody chase. But now that we have the title reign and nothing is happening, I think I like the chase better.
I definitely like the chase. I'm just trying to think. So they did the little swerve deal with AJ, which was cute.
You liked it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I liked it because it highlighted AJ's heel aggressive side. That's what when he was in New Japan, that's what came out of him, from knowing him and seeing him wrestle in TNA all those years, right? He just didn't have that vicious side. So when he went to New Japan, and then I remember watching his documentary WWE made when he finally turned on John Cena or whatever. That's where he was like, yeah, that was me. That's what I wanted to do. And so I was glad with that, and I was glad that they're going to give him another match. Maybe we can do a Tully type situation, or well, no, because he can't. The I quit. Like, do you give up? Do you quit? Like, yes, yes, yes. And he's like, hey, I never said I quit. That's more of a heel thing, but sorry, I just talked to Tully this morning, so.
How is Blanchard these days?
He's good. He's no longer with his church that he was with. Mm-hmm. So now he's doing a couple of different podcasts. I don't know if you saw him.
No.
Yeah, he's got one with Conrad that he does once a month, and then he does another one. It's called Heat Seek with one of Conrad's podcast people.
Okay.
And they just mostly do like a Q&A with Tully, basically. So I just listened to the other one today. The other one's behind the ad-free shows paywall or whatever.
Yeah.
The once
so he
a month.
works more now than he did in his 2 years with AEW.
That was the first that that was the first thing that he said, was that he didn't realize at the age of 70 he would be so involved in wrestling all of a sudden, and I was like, weren't you? And I always tease him. I was like, how was that big AEW run? And he always gives me like a look with like smart ass little shit, and like walks away. He's still a dick. Like, yeah, I love it though. I love it. But so yeah, ultimately I was happy that they gave AJ some more to do with Cody. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Like, wait, what's the no, Gunther gets his title shot at SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, I mean, they're not going to put the belt on AJ, but I would be okay if they did. I'm assuming there's going to be a Punk run-in and interference for Drew.
I think Drew's going to win.
And then they set Punk and Drew up for SummerSlam?
Yep.
That could happen. I just feel like if Drew's going to lose, it needs to be by Punk. And if he's going to win, then great. I'm all for it. I like Priest, but I don't know. He's just not.
The booking's not great.
Yeah, that too, but he's just not there. I mean, he's just not. I also read somewhere that they were looking at changing Finn over to being like a full-on baby face.
Really?
And then possibly like having the demon appear again as part of his baby face, like someone's fucking with him, and then boom, here comes the demon. So that could change some things up, I guess, right? I don't know. Maybe he turns on Finn.
Maybe
losing the belt.
That'd be a good. Who did that years ago, where they were building one guy up like he was going to be the heel and turn on his partner, and then his partner turned on him. Is that what they did with James Storm and Bobby Roode?
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I know
Yeah,
they switched. They were supposed to put the belt on Rude, but then they put
but
it on Storm first.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Maybe that was it, because that sounds familiar. How they did it, I guess. Something like that. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I thought, okay, do it now while Rhea's out, so we don't have to worry about where she's going, and she can just come back on her own. I think
right,
get rid of that whole group. I guess we got enough Samoans taking up groups, so we're good.
yeah. Too many groups,
Yeah,
too many Samoans.
the Liv Morgan match is whatever, and then the Viper Nevin whatever match, that this is filler. Like, this is filler in a huge way. Like, none of that is intriguing to me at all. Like, I didn't even know that bitch was still there. Like, so.
What? Chelsea Green's tag team partner.
uh,
Jesus.
I don't want.
All right. Well, I mean, we gonna learn this weekend, right?
Yeah. I'm curious to. I am gonna watch it. Like, I'm curious to see how it comes out. Yeah, because we're leading into summers. Well, I know that we have Money in the Bank, but Money in the Bank is its own thing.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to start setting us up for what kind of SummerSlam we're going to have. At least the top few matches, I would imagine.
It has to.
Yeah.
They got to get some wheels in motion here because everything kind of just feels very, the WrestleMania season this year was so high.
Yeah.
That the come down from it has been like a real detox. It's been rough, but
I mean, classic example is Cody's booking.
Yep.
He's just doing random matches, and it goes to the point, like you were saying, like the chase. Well, that was all WrestleMania for a whole year. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't think he's going to drop it to AJ, because I don't see them doing AJ and Gunther at SummerSlam, expecting that to pull in the house. And then I don't see him dropping it to Gunther either, but I would say maybe Gunther more than AJ if I had to pick the two. I just don't know. Like, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know. And it's partially because Cody's just going out having matches.
I hate the fact that Gunther's going to get a world title match and not win it.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't just wait. Just wait. I don't know. I think Gable wins the Intercontinental belt, though.
He should.
But that's a match I'm really looking forward to, that one.
They should do everything that gets you a title shot should be won by Gunther every time, right? Like, he's got this title shot for SummerSlam. He should win Money in the Bank. The guy should always have a title shot up his sleeve. Before he cashes in Money in the Bank, he wins the Royal Rumble, right? Okay, right after the Royal Rumble, he wins the Elimination Chamber to get the other match too. Just like, he should just always be on deck.
And then the champions are like, "Nah, I don't want to be champion. I'm good."
Yeah. All right, I think I'm done. Are you done?
Yeah, that's good.
This was brief.
Yeah.
And simple and fun. All right, motherfuckers. I guess we're done here. I'm gonna find the gimmick. There's the gimmick. Rick, I'll catch you on the other side, bud.
Yeah, man.